Thank you very much for inviting me to your platform.
First of all, waiting concern you. Are you a celebrity?
I'm not a celebrity. I do not take alcohol at all. But I went to court just because of the principle that a selected group of people will be prevented from having the chance to do what everyone else is allowed to do, which isn't actually based on any empirical data. It is sort of an assumption that one person will influence the case. But there are bigger conversations to be had about what actually influences younger people to take alcohol. I can cite a lot of things right now that we should be rather looking at. And I felt instead of that punitive measure, they should have actually brought the celebrities to the table and see how they can work together to, educate the younger people about the ills of alcohol. Not a ban. If they had banned everyone from advertising, I wouldn't have had a problem. We wouldn't have had a problem with that. Although it could be questioned because it doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Champions League, they play Heineken sponsors. They show it on TV in Ghana during the day, any time of the day. So we've got the PDD Xerox, we've got the Bel Air. These things are online. We see all the bars and pubs in residential areas. The children know what past there. 3 people with bottles on the table. Parents send their children to go and buy alcohol. All of those. There are bigger conversations I think need to be had, and that's why we thought if anyone else can advertise, and we're here when even foreign celebrities who are maybe even bigger than some of our local ones were brought in to advertise one of such products in our country. So it's a bigger conversation. I am disappointed with the outcome, but I think it's opened up a bigger conversation, and for that, I'm glad about it.
I see. So, in essence, the Supreme Court agrees with the FDA. You have an option where you could seek a review, but typically this would come on a number of technical issues that have to be considered. I'm not sure you're going to consider applying for review, are you?
We haven't received the full details of the judgment yet. We are told we should receive it by the 21st of this month. And what people don't realize is that out of the 7 judges, 2 of them agreed with us. So you realize it wasn't like all of them agreeing that we didn't have a case or not. But 2 of them sided with us, and 5 sided with the FDA. As I said on other platforms, we actually engaged them a couple of years ago, maybe 2.5, or maybe 3, no, actually about 3 or so years ago. We had a Zoom meeting, very productive conversation. We highlighted a few things. We compared what was happening elsewhere in South Africa and other areas around the world. And we are not against protecting the public or protecting the younger ones. But it is the fact that if everyone else is allowed to do it, why not another group of people? And they said because they will influence the case. What is the empirical data backing that assertion? There is none. I've checked worldwide, there is none. It's something that people say, but there isn't actual empirical data. There are other things that we think we should be looking at, and they should be working in collaboration with the celebrities and not sideline them in this fight that they're taking on. So once we receive the full judgment, our legal team will go through it, see what it actually states in there, be our reasoning for the decisions, and then once we've done that, it will inform our next line of action. So we're not sure yet because we haven't got the full judgment in front of us yet. We're waiting. Hopefully Friday or by Monday we should have it. And once we have it, we will know what the next step is.
Okay. If you could kindly stay on the line for me, I want to hear from the FDA. I'm sure they are celebrating and popping champagne tonight. Which champagne? I mean, And because we have not seen the full judgment, we are not able to speak specifically to what the judges said. But let's understand what the consequence of today's decision is. So kindly be on the line. I would ask you for a reaction after that. So I'm speaking to Mark Darlington Osai. He brought that case against the FDA. Let me go to Joseph Bene. He is the director in charge of legal and corporate affairs at the Food and Drugs Authority. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations are in order. I'm sure you're popping champagne that was not advertised by a celebrity, I guess.
Incidentally, interesting, we are not popping champagne. We think this is a victory for all Ghanaians and a victory for public health and safety. And not much to celebrate, actually. It's just that we are contributing to the health and safety of the people of Ghana, and we are happy the Supreme Court sees eye to eye with us. And of course, we are happy, but not popping champagne.
Talk to us about what is your guideline intends. So when you say celebrities, is that the wording of your guideline? Did you use the word celebrity or you use well-known person? What word did you use? And who is covered by that wording?
It's well-known personalities. I want to read, if that will serve the purpose.
Please go ahead, yes.
So what is stated in the guidelines, well-known personality. And it says well-known personality includes any person who arouses sufficient interest in society. This may include historical, political, religious, academic, cultural figures, as well as movie, music, and sports figures. So we didn't talk about celebrities. So it covers a whole lot of people. So it's not just about celebrities. But of course, they find themselves within that space and did the right thing in going to court to seek clarification and confirmation as to whether we are doing is within the context of the Constitution.
So this well-known, is there a yardstick for measuring well-known?
For now, I won't say there's a yardstick for measuring well-known, but it is something that when you mention a certain name, when you see a certain personality, when you see a certain person, you don't need anybody to describe that person to you. You don't need anybody to give any additional information about that person. I don't want to mention names, but if you mention my name, who knows me? Nobody knows me. But there are certain names when you mention, everybody knows. No, even a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old person would definitely know who that person is. So there will not be what you would call empirical or yardstick or whatever. But in everyday practice, you know who a well-known person is.
So the question that the man who brought the action in court is asking is, how do you determine, or actually, let me ask, what's the morale or the spirit of this law guideline? You targeted children. Was that your main intent, or what were you trying to prevent or promote?
The general issue is to not to try and control, as it were, the consumption of alcohol. We know the impact of excessive consumption of alcohol on health. So it is the general view or the general direction that we should try and reduce the consumption of alcohol generally, and specifically when it comes to the youth and children. You know, they are attracted to, they have a mind that is still under development, and they are easily attracted to people. They are easily influenced. So when they see such persons whom, quote unquote, they respect, they adore, doing certain things, they easily fall for it. So, unknown to them, they'll be falling for some of these things, and before long, at that tender age, their health is being destroyed. So,
but there's no data to support this claim, is there?
Are you sure?
Do you have any data?
We provided enough information and data, not necessarily from the Ghanaian context, but internationally. WHO has a whole lot of data, and we produce that. And we provided that as part of the defense.
You presented that in court. It was part of your case.
Yes. There's enough information out there about how well-known personalities are influencing the behavior of the youth, not just alcohol, but with respect to other such dangerous products. So the evidence is out there. Nobody can deny it.
Okay.
Nobody.
What about the other side of the coin, that there are children who are operating drinking sports? There are children who are sent to buy, the alcohol that you are saying that you do not want them to see being advertised on TV. Why don't you target that instead? And again, the man who brought the case says elsewhere in the world, football stars are advertising alcohol. When football is being played and we are watching the Champions League or the English League, we see Heineken and all those things being advertised. He says you're missing the points. The children are watching TV and they are seeing this anyway. So what's the point of preventing people who are making money from this advertisement from doing so? You're starving them.
Let me start from the point where you said children are sent to buy alcohol, children are operating drinking bars. For the information of the public, there's an LI coming. We are working on together with the Ministry of Health and other partners on an LI that is coming. And I spoke about this morning, that even the minimum quantity of alcohol that can be sold is being looked at. So we'll get there. So it is not like nothing is being done in the other areas. Things are being done. So if you say, why are we not doing that? We are doing it. So these are some of the things that together, taking one step at a time, we are dealing with that. When you talk about the fact that other countries are permitting, of course, we have different cultures, we have different communities, we have different jurisdictions, and they have their laws that operate. Let me give you an example. In some other places, you are in the same area with manufacturing or producing a similar product with somebody. You can mention in your advert that product B is not good. It is allowed, but you can't do that in Ghana. So, different jurisdictions and different rules that they are applying. We are saying that we have studied our situation. We have looked at what is happening. We say that the youth have a great respect for people within that context, and they are most likely to be influenced and are being influenced by this. So let's take that step. The other ones that we have mentioned, the LI will come out very soon. And once that LI also comes up, it will deal with most of these issues that we cannot send a child to go and buy alcohol. It is not currently there, but the LI is taking care of it. So we are working towards it. Gradually, we'll get to that point. So let's keep our eye.
Okay. Now that it's a regulation, I believe that if someone flouts that, what will be the punishment? Is it do you fine them or you prosecute them? What was the FDA? What do you do?
It's always been a regulation. It's always been there. It's not new. The Supreme Court has come to strengthen our position, but it is already there. And people who flout it, we've never approved of any advert that has been any alcohol advert that has been endorsed as it were by a well-known personality. We have not done that. So if you bring it, we will not approve it. And if you go out of your way to do it, the sanctions are there. We can give you administrative fines. We can prosecute you in court and others. So it is already there. The Supreme Court has strengthened what we have been doing. It is already there. It's not new aspects as a new. It is already there. Okay. They took us to court to convince themselves that what we are doing is right. And I think we have that asset now.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You're most welcome.
That's Joseph Bene. He's Director Legal and Corporate Affairs of the FDA. Let me finish with Mark Darlington. Mark, so what was the reaction from the people whom you represented, even though you didn't do that directly? What have been their views?
I think It's a lot of disappointment because I had wanted to ask Mr. Bennett a couple of questions, and I'm glad he says they're working on an airline. So my issue is, if the kids are being influenced, let's assume they are being influenced, and they do not have access to the alcohol, how does that influence them? So I would have thought the first point of call was to work on reducing access of kids to alcohol first and see how that goes, rather than the other way around. Because if they've got access to it, and other people can advertise. For example, no one knows me. I started advertising within a month. I'm a public figure. Everyone would know me because I'm on TV. I'm everywhere. So what happened? Do they stop the advert? No, it will still run for the full duration of the 1 year. Would they not still influence the people we're trying to protect? Yes, they will. If they are influenced, how do they get access to the alcohol? That is the thing. We should be looking at plugging the holes where they have access to it.
Okay.
If that had happened, they wouldn't have even have to put in this directive to stop a group of people from advertising, because everyone else can advertise apart from those group of people, because they would influence the kids. But then if they haven't got access to the alcohol, how are they going to be influenced in the first place anyway?
Thank you.
Then, yes, there's data around about the influence of celebrities on people, but not specifically the alcohol section. So, yes, I agree, but probably it can be argued, because I've seen some of the data not directly related to alcohol, but the influence on well-known people in terms of dressing and culture and all of those things. Yeah. So we support what they're doing. If they're putting in airline, brilliant.
Okay.
We support it. We will support them, but I think they still need to relook at this directive and see how best they can work together with the well-known persons to actually project their message to the younger ones they're trying to protect. That's
Thank
how
you.
we're speaking.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's Mark Darlington Osai. He's a man who went to court asking the Supreme Court to set aside a directive or a guideline by the FDA on well-known persons or so-called celebrities advertising alcoholic products. The court has shut down that request and strengthened the position of the FDA. That's how we end tonight's edition of Eyewitness News. We'll be back